KEDO. Let's get this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I know this is weird. I'm live streaming. I'm not recording because there's a problem with the webcam. It's just no wanting me to record videos. It's letting me live stream. It's here. I'm here. I'm on the screen. I imagine I'm on the screen. I think we're fine. I'm here. I can see all yous talking. Yous can see me. I'm here to do my Premier League predictions, and I know I've kind of spoiled it. It's all there. Gutter, but you're here for my explanations, and hopefully you do enjoy the video. I won't be interacting much with the chat in this because I want it to go up as like an actual video afterwards so people can come back and watch it. But you know what, Sunday there's an even bigger game that you should be interested in. Not Premier League, not Scottish Premiership. Make sure to get yourself some tickets. You've only got a week left to come and see me, some other famous Scottish YouTubers, Marley13, Razbowski, Batchy, CJ Novo, blah blah blah, the rest of us play against Stennismuir on Sunday at Oakview Park. Tickets as cheap as £6. Make sure to pick them up. The link will be filtered through Twitter on Create Scotland. Make sure and go and find it. Even just type into Google YouTuber, Scottish YouTuber charity match, and you will find it. Please get yourself down there. It's for a good cause. Also, excuse that the door's open, that you might hear some noises through this. I can't do much about it. As I explained in yesterday's video, the door's broke. I left for a week and I come back from Greece to a broken door and everything else. So I'm here to do my Premier League predictions. We're going to start from the bottom all the way up to the top. Usually I would do it in stages. I would go for the bottom three, and then I would surprisingly do each team one by one, but obviously I've kind of spoiled that for us, and you can see my predictions. But I'm going to do my explanations to the predictions. Let me know what you think in the comments below as well, what you think this season, what you think about my predictions. So we're going to start right at the bottom. We're starting at 20th, 19th and 18th. Last season, all the promoted teams from the Championship managed to stay up. Brighton, Huddersfield, Newcastle, none of them went down, not one of them, and all had very decent seasons for coming up and being in the position that they were. But this season I don't feel like the same will happen. I think Cardiff are surefire favourites to go back down. I just don't feel like they have a squad good enough for the Premier League, and I don't feel like they have signed enough players that are good for the Premier League. And ultimately I think the main downfall for them is a manager, Neil Warnock. He's proven time and time again he's not quite Premier League quality manager, and he's struggled with other teams, and I feel like that's just going to be the same case with Cardiff now. I feel like he's going to struggle. It's going to be a struggle for Cardiff all round. I feel like Callum Patterson will not be able to keep them up all by himself, as much as I do like Callum Patterson. I do see Cardiff going down, sadly. I do like Cardiff as well, but they're just not strong enough ultimately. And joining them, I've got Brighton. Brighton, I just don't feel like have signed enough players, and this really, at this point, it was a kind of stab in the dark guess. I could have picked anyone from that bottom half of the table to go down. I could have chose anyone of my choice. I could have chose Huddersfield, blah blah, but I don't know, something about Brighton. I just feel Chris Hughton's men this season won't be able to stay up. I just feel like they're going to struggle, and that's why I've got them at 19th, and I don't feel like Glenn Murray is going to be the one to kind of salvage them for a second straight season, but we'll see where it goes. They just need to, and the transfer window's shut now, that's hard. They just need to strengthen more areas. They have got some solid players, just not solid enough to think stay up for 2 seasons in a row. And finally in the relegation spots, I've got Southampton. Poor Stuart Armstrong, what can I say? As much as I love Armstrong, I just feel like Southampton haven't improved much. They were given a lot of money, not just through television rights and such, but remember they sold Van Dijk for 80 million quid, and the reinvestment in that 80 million hasn't been great. They've lost some good players since then as well. Tadic went to Ajax, a couple other players exited, and they've not really brought in anyone that is massive. They've still got a few good players there, and Armstrong's a good player, but the only other defender they brought in this summer was Vestergaard from Borussia Mönchengladbach, who is a decent enough player, but ultimately I think Mark Hughes and the squad that he's got is not going to be good enough, and I feel like halfway through the season they're really going to struggle, and Mark Hughes might not even keep his job fully till the end of the season. He's just one of those managers, and he showed it at Stoke towards the end of his tenure there, that he's that kind of outdated manager who, with that same style of football that you see from those collective managers in English football. I feel like he's just one of those, and I just don't feel like he's strong enough to keep Southampton up. Heading into the bottom half of the table, I've got Huddersfield, Watford, Bournemouth, Fulham, Newcastle, Burnley and Wolves, which is closing off my bottom half. Huddersfield, I feel like still have some good players. They've also signed a couple of good players, maybe not as good as some other teams, and that's why I've got them right at the bottom of that heap. They brought in the likes of Terence Kongolo though, which is a really good sign of my eyes. David Wagner though, I feel like he just offers a little bit something more interesting than say what Chris Hughton does with Brighton. They've still got some good players as well there, Aaron Moy being the main one that comes to mind. So I think they're going to be good enough to stay up. There will be a struggle. I think it's going to be a really big dogfight at the bottom there for teams like Huddersfield and Brighton, and they could very easily go down, but because of their kit alone, I'm keeping them up because it's a very fucking nice kit. Watford, they've brought in a new manager. I just don't feel like they've signed well. I've also never heard of the manager. I don't know what to expect from them. I feel like Watford are just, and I don't just feel because I'm right when I say so, Watford are on this never-ending cycle of manager after manager after manager, unknown manager after unknown, and it's a mess what happens down there with managerial contracts, and I know nothing about this guy who's came into Watford. I know absolutely nothing about him. I don't expect much from him, that's why I've got them 16th. Bournemouth in 15th, they still have some good players, they have some good young players. Lewis Cook come to mind especially. They've still got Jermaine Defoe, I'm sure, up there as well, or down there I should say, like the most southern club in the fucking league. They have some decent players, and Eddie Howe knows what he's doing. He's a good manager. I just don't feel like they're in for as good a season as what they may have had a couple of seasons ago when they ended up finishing 10th. But you know what, I think they'll stay up. But once again, I feel it's one of those teams that have not improved enough to kind of compete higher in the table with the likes of other teams that I've got higher here. So I expect a struggling season for Bournemouth, but I do think they'll stay up. Fulham, I think they've done terrific in the transfer window. I see them staying up. I don't see why they would go back down. The likes of Andre Schürrle, Jean-Michel Seri, they have made some fantastic signings over at Fulham, and it's a good enough squad to stay up. I know very little about the manager, his style of football. I don't watch a lot of Championship football. They've got some great players though in that team. Tom Kearney in there as well. So you know what, they've got a fantastic squad. Andre Schürrle I think will be a fantastic addition to that team, and he plays his best football. He is a very, very good player, very unplayable. He's hard to play against. Seen that time and time again in German football. In the 2014 World Cup, he was flashing. He was fantastic, great player. If he can turn it on for Fulham, if he can stay fit, he will be a big player for them, and that's why I think they will stay up this season. 13th, Newcastle, didn't do a lot during the transfer window. Rafa Benitez still struggling to get the money in. Obviously the board up there is a mess. Not too sure what's happening, whether Mike Ashley will stay, will go, but Rafa Benitez knows what he's doing. Very solid manager, a manager which Newcastle fans have a lot of faith in, and rightly so. He's done a lot of good for the club, and I think they will stay up again. I just don't see them doing anything too great, for the fact that they've not been great in the transfer window. They brought in Solomon Rondon, they brought in Fabian Schär. Apart from that, I couldn't name too much of what they've done in the transfer window, so I think it's going to be a very bang average season for them. Burnley at 12, dropping down from 7th. A fantastic season they had last year, absolutely unbelievable, sitting 7th in the table, something I thought I'd never see Burnley do. They're in the Europa League, they could very well go to the Europa League group stages. We don't know if they're there yet, but if they do go there, their schedule is going to be frantic, it's going to be difficult, and it's something that Burnley and the Burnley players are not used to, and I think it's going to take a big hit and a big toll on their season. Even now, I think it's going to take a big toll on their season. Fitness has got to be peak, it's got to be high, and I've got a lot of old players at Burnley, and they didn't do too much in this transfer window once again. I think Sean Dyche is rightful, he's got his rights to do that. I think he's right enough to say, let's not make too many changes, because what he got last season, what he got out of that squad was unbelievable, and bringing in too much and making too much change might just harm everything he built. So understandable that he's not made too many changes during this transfer window, but if they get in the Europa League, I think it will take a big toll on their season. I don't think they're going to hit the heights of 7th again, but I do expect them to stay up. But it's one of those teams, you know, they could easily go down. They've not got an amazing squad. They've got a squad that when they play well, they know what they're doing, they're very structured, they've got their tactic, and they can play to it, they can play all day to it. But whether or not they can keep up that consistency to finish 7th or such again, I don't think they can. But I've got them in at 12th. And 11th, rounding up the bottom half of the table, I have Wolves. Just unbelievable, like the players that they have just got in that team. A sensational story happening there with the owners and what they have done and what they've brought in. The players I don't even need to rhyme off. You know what their team's like. You know what they've brought in. You know they've got Rui Patricio, João Moutinho, Ruben Neves. All these players, unbelievable. They drew the other night with Everton 2-2, and Everton have a very, very fucking good team. So I think Wolves are in for an interesting season. They'll be one of the ones to watch that you want to watch as often as possible. They will be interesting. Once again, don't know too much about their manager and such. I don't watch Championship football, so it's hard to put a pin on it. Hard to put a finger on exactly what we expect from them. But they've got players to turn it on. I think they could have a good season. Between 10th and 8th, missing out on European football but making that top half, I've got Crystal Palace, I've got West Ham, and I've got Leicester. Crystal Palace, Roy Hodgson came in and done a marvellous job. Hats off to the guy, because everybody didn't believe in him. Everybody was done after what he'd done at England. It's a manager he didn't really want to associate with, but he came into Palace last season. He transformed what was a ship that was sinking rapidly, and he took them to Premier League survival and greater heights. And he's had a very interesting transfer window. One name is what comes to mind when I think of Crystal Palace: Maximilian Meyer. How did they do it? How did they sign Maximilian Meyer? I don't understand it. He's away there a bargain, and he could tear it up for Palace as long as Roy Hodgson brings a style of football and doesn't play any of this nonsense. It doesn't allow a player like him to flow and perform to their best. If they can get the best out of him, they will be difficult for a lot of teams this season, and he will be difficult for a lot of teams to handle. I think Crystal Palace will be great to watch this season. Wilfried Zaha, Maximilian Meyer, they have some good players. And Roy Hodgson, I hope he does well. Just, he's that old grander looking guy I just want to see do well for some reason. He also fucked up England, so that was nice of him. But Palace, I think, is going to have a very interesting season. 9th, I've got West Ham, who could push for higher. Manuel Pellegrini coming in for his first season. They got rid of Moyes, and he's made some fantastic signings also. Felipe Anderson coming in over there. Jack Wilshere coming in. They have made some great signings, and they have a team that is capable of pushing up to that 7th place. They didn't get off to the best start of the weekend, obviously demolished by a rampant Liverpool side, but you can't take too much from that game, for the fact is Liverpool are just a terrific team, a terrific attacking team, and for a first competitive game with Manuel Pellegrini, it was always going to be fucking difficult. But I think they'll have a great season. I think players like Jack Wilshere and Felipe Anderson have a chance to step up and prove a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. Manuel Pellegrini, a former Premier League winner, a Premier League winning manager, so they've got experience at the helm there. No more David Moyes. Someone who I did want to see do well at West Ham, David Moyes, but just wasn't the man. Manuel Pellegrini now, time to step up and show why he is still a top Premier League manager. I think they'll have a good season. And at 8th, I have Leicester. Claude Puel, I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of his football, but there's something about Leicester. They just have a solid team. They've made some decent signings this window. James Maddison has come in. A couple of other players have came in. I think they're going to have a good season. I just have a feeling. Obviously not to the heights of what they got in 2016, winning the title. They're a long way from there. But they have some cracking players in their team. They were unlucky against Manchester United. But they have like Jamie Vardy, Kelechi Iheanacho, Kasper Schmeichel. So many good players at their disposal. James Maddison, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in the Premier League after having a fantastic spell at Aberdeen a couple of years back. So I think Leicester are going to have an entertaining season, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. Again, in the European football, Everton, I just can't wait for this season for Everton. I think they're going to be one of the most entertaining teams to watch. Marco Silva, we know the type of football he can play in the Premier League. He's proved it with Hull and Watford. He's a top manager, going on a top manager. It could go one of two ways. Of course, it could be a flop. It could be very easily. But I'm very excited. The players they have signed, unbelievable. What they're doing over there. They've cut the dead weight that didn't perform last season, and they have brought in some very interesting signings. Bernard, Yeremina, Kurt Zuma went in. They've got fucking, what's his name? Richarlison. Very entertaining players have came into the team, and they have got a solid squad at their disposal. I wouldn't be surprised if you see them push for even more this season. 2-2 draw the other night with Wolves in the opening game, but I feel like they can do more this season, Everton. I think they are going to be one of the best teams to watch this season. After a disappointing season last year, where I expected the exact same thing with the signings they made, I feel like it's going to be different this year. I feel like Marco Silva will know how to get it right. And home form is going to be a big thing. Marco Silva is all about that home form. And that's going to be massive for Everton this season. 6th, I've got Spurs. I predicted similar last year. They went and finished 3rd. They had a good season. As a team, I feel like I'm always harsh on. They didn't make one signing though. Did they need to? Maybe not. They've got some great players. Harry Kane, Christian Eriksen, Dele Alli, solid defence. So they really don't need to improve. They're just something about them. First season, new stadium, we'll see how it goes. Not much to say. It's very difficult to place teams at this point in the table now. It's very competitive up the top. Chelsea, I've got it 5th. I think Maurizio Sarri's got a big job ahead of him. Everything happened so late for Chelsea. They got off to a good start, solid start, a good win against Huddersfield, but against big teams they may struggle early on in the season. They left everything so late, they didn't get too much transfer business done. I feel like he's going to find it difficult to get his team playing to that style that he would like. And he even came out and said it himself, he says it might take 3 months or so to get the team playing to a level and a standard that he wants and he expects. So I think Chelsea are going to struggle for the opening months. We'll see how it goes. They might not. They have a very dangerous team though. There's no denying that. Eden Hazard has stayed. Kante, Jorginho, a very, very dangerous midfield pairing. They've got Willian, they've got Marat, they've got all these entertaining, dangerous players. If they can get them playing to their full quality, they're always up for a shout of challenging for the title itself. But I've got them missing out the top 4. 4th, heading into the top 4, I've got Arsenal. Unai Emery stepping in. The Wenger reign is over after 20 odd years. Very interesting time to be an Arsenal supporter. And anything to do with Arsenal. Unai Emery's came in, he's made some fantastic signings. Bernd Leno, Stefan Lichtsteiner, there's just some great players being brought in at Arsenal, and they've got a fantastic squad to their disposal. Their front line, Lacazette, Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, fantastic players. A team that, if they can hit heights, can do a lot. And if Unai Emery can get them playing their best, a team who could easily challenge for the title. But whether they can get them playing to that best, whether they can knock back all these years of disappointment and start afresh just like that, it's a completely different story. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm putting them at 4th. United, I've got it 3rd. Mourinho obviously has his critics. Time could be running out for Mourinho. It very easily could be running out. This season's a big one. They need to do something. I'd love to see United go and challenge for the title, but I don't know if it'll happen. Every other year I come on here and I predict United to win the title, and this year I just don't feel that confidence. We do have great players. United have some fantastic players. Pogba has to be his best. He is the instrument. He is the man who makes everything happen. We have some fantastic players around him, but Pogba has to hit heights, and Mourinho has to get rid of this anti-football. Whether he will or not, different story. I've got them at 3rd. 2nd, Liverpool Champions League finalist, Jurgen Klopp, one of the most entertaining managers in world football. They have some fantastic players. Mo Salah, we've seen what he done last year. I mean, if he can hit any of those heights, even close to those heights, Liverpool will be dangerous and could easily win the title. Naby Keita's came in. Fantastic player. Watched him last season throughout at Rasenballsport Leipzig. Fantastic player. Fantastic player. They made some other great signings as well. And they have a fantastic depth to their team. So Liverpool could easily win the title, but I think Man City, I think they're going to take the title again. I think they're too strong. Pep Guardiola, he knows what he's doing, and he's got such a great team playing such great football. I think they're just too strong for the rest of English football. Will they win it by as much as what they did last year? That's another story, another question to ask. But I think they will go ahead and retain the title, which pains me to say because I fucking hate them. But very easily could be done, and I do think it will be done. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think will win the title. I mean, I'm looking at the chat here, fucking seeing what's coming through. God knows. Let me know what you think. Make sure to like and subscribe. Buy tickets for the YouTuber charity match as well. And I'll see you all next time. Now here's the awkward part.